Hello and welcome back to the CSS class. My dear friend, we have invested time understanding selectors in CSS. Basic selectors completely we understood. In advanced selectors, we understood child selectors completely. Now it is time for us to focus on sibling selectors. Now please understand, sibling selectors can further be categorized into two types. One called as general siblings and another called as adjacent sibling. Now what does all this mean is what I must help you understand in today's class. So watch it. If I take you to my browser window, this is how it looks like in my browser window, right? Wherein I have a simple HTML page wherein I have told h1 outside div, p1 outside div, h2 outside div, p1 inside div, p2 inside div, h3 inside div, p2 outside div, like that. Now what does all this mean if you ask me? First I need to show you the HTML code associated with this. This is that HTML code, and if you look at the HTML code carefully, you will notice it's very simple. There is HTML head, obviously. Inside that I have title where I've called it as example, and I have a style tag, after which I have my body, inside body h1 outside div, p1 outside div. Basically I'm saying this is the first paragraph which is outside div. Then there is a division. Inside the division I have one h2 tag which is inside the division. Then I have two more p tags which is inside the division. So I've told p1 inside div, p2 inside div. Then I have an h3 tag which is again inside my division. Any confusion till here? After which I have closed my division, and then I have a p tag which is outside the division. So I've told p2 outside div. As simple as that. Any confusion till here? Now let us first understand the meaning of two words. A general sibling and an adjacent sibling. These two words must be making sense to you. For that, I'm going to convert this into a tree. If you convert this HTML document into an HTML tree, how does it look like? Start with HTML. Inside HTML, you have a tag called as head. Further inside head, you have two tags, title and style. Then you have another tag called as body. Inside that body tag, you have h1, you have p, you have div. Inside div, you further have h2, you have p, and you have h3. Then inside the body, you have another p tag called as this last p tag which I have. Any confusion till here? This is what the tree looks like. Now you must understand, first and foremost, forget about general sibling, adjacent sibling. What do you mean by a sibling? See, in real life, a sibling could be your brother or your sister. Now why do they qualify to be a brother and sister? For one main reason, which is both of you have the same parent. Whenever two individuals share a same parent, they are now considered to be a sibling. Would you agree with me? Now look at this, okay? If you come inside body, body has so many children, right? Now amongst those children, there are children which are direct children, there are children which is indirect children as well. But if you look at it, inside the body, I have my h1 and I have my p tags. Now clearly h1 and p are siblings because they share the same parent which is body. h1, p and the last p tag are all siblings because they share the same parent which is body, right? In fact, even div is a sibling because it shares the same parent which is body. I hope you're able to think. So h1, p, div and the last p tag, they are all siblings to each other. I hope you're able to think. Similarly, if you go inside div, h2 and these two p tags and the h3 tag, they are siblings with each other. Why? Because they share the same parent which is div. But those guys are not siblings with the outer h1 and p's because they are not siblings, you must understand, right? They are the sons or children of the siblings. They are like nephews and nieces. They are not siblings. I want you to understand, right? Now that you understood the word sibling, first and foremost, let me explain to you what do you mean by a general sibling. See, please understand. Take h1 as an example. If you take h1, all the tags which come below h1, who share the same parent as h1, are the general siblings of h1. And who are those tags? The first p tag is obviously a general sibling because it is a sibling of h1, they share the same parent. Your last p tag is also a general sibling. Your div tag is also a general sibling because all of them come under h1 and they share the same parent. Now if I ask you who is the general siblings of h2, then you must see under h2 what are the tags present which share the same parent as h2. h2's parent is div. Under h2, which are the other tags which have the same parent as div, which is p, p and h3. And that is why they are the general siblings of h2. Any confusion till this point of time? Now that you understood this general sibling concept, let me tell you that you can actually select HTML elements based on the general sibling relationship using CSS. How, if you ask me, my dear friend, it is all courtesy of this combinator, which is your tilde combinator, which allows you to establish a general sibling relationship between two selectors. Would you like to see how this works? Well, this is how it works. Understand, this is my code, this is the output. CSS, I am going to write it within the style tag itself, internal CSS. Now this is my expectation. I want to go inside my HTML document and select all the general siblings of h1 which are p tags. I repeat, I want to select all the general siblings of h1 which are p tags, which means who qualifies is this p tag because it is a general sibling. Does div qualify? 100% not, because div is not p tag. The last p tag qualifies because yes, it is a sibling of h1 because both of them share the same parent, which is body. Now how are you going to write it? Very simple, watch it. I'll go inside style and there I will tell first of all which are the two selectors. First selector is h1. The second selector is p. Now I will leave a space between both of them. If you leave a space, then it means descendant in CSS. I don't want descendant relationship. I want general sibling. How will you do that? Tilde I will apply. Like this. Any confusion? Inside that I will put the declaration and I want to change all their background colors to orange. If I do that, you must understand this is what will happen. So what will happen is, let me show you. See, this selector goes inside the HTML document. First one it is telling is, hey, find h1. Okay, it found h1. Find all the general siblings of h1, which is p. Immediately it will see who are all the p tags below h1 who share the same parent as h1, which is body. That is this p tag and this p tag. They get selected and get styled like this. Do you see the kind of control which CSS offers for you? Do you see the kind of relationships you can apply and generate between selectors? It's very, very powerful. Now that you understood this, let me give you another example. Let us assume I want to select all the p tags, right, which are general siblings of h2. Which is the h2 tag here? This is the h2 tag. Below h2 tag, who are the general siblings which are p? These are the two p's because they share the same parent as div. Because same parent as h2. h2 is also parent is div. These two p tags also parent is div. They qualify to be siblings. And I want all the siblings, general siblings, isn't it? How am I going to write for that? I'll go to the selector and inside the style there and I'll create one more selector and I will just tell h2 and I will tell p. What should be the relationship between these two selectors? It should be general sibling. So put tilde. And then I will go inside that and I will just make it as background color cyan like this. If I do this, then this selector goes inside. First thing you're telling is select h2. Oh, it finds h2. Then you're telling select p, but based on what relationship? General sibling. So it will see for this h2, who are all the p tags which have the same parent as h2, which is div, two p's. It will select, style it like this. Any confusion till this point of time? Perfectly it works. Now that you understood how to select based on the relationship of a general sibling, there is one more type of relationship called as adjacent sibling. Now what do you mean by an adjacent sibling, you might think? For this I must take you back to my tree, right? If I take you back to my HTML tree, you must understand, see, if I take H1, for example, if I take H1, below H1, who are the siblings of H1? You have the P tag, you have the div tag, and you have the other P tag below as well. Now, what I want is, I don't want all the siblings of H1. I want the immediate sibling. Immediate sibling. Now tell me, who's the immediate sibling after H1? Immediate sibling after H1 is nothing but this P. That is the immediate sibling. Because both of them share the same parent, which is body, and right after H1, this is the sibling. Such a sibling which immediately follows an element, the immediate sibling, is what in CSS we call as adjacent sibling. And if you want to select adjacent siblings, you must use another combinator, and this combinator is nothing but the plus combinator, adjacent sibling, right? This is what I want to do. So what I will do is, I will go and remove all these style, this H1, all that I will remove. Wonderful. Now I want to show you this in action. For that I should take you back to my output window. So watch it carefully. If I take you to this output window like this. Now as you can see, I'll just refresh this HTML page, then all this styling goes off, right? Now you must understand. Here what I want to do is, I want to select all such P, I want to select only such P tags which immediately follow H1. Now tell me, if you look at this document, which is the P tag which immediately follows H1? That is only this P tag. Immediately follows H1. But it should immediately follow H1 and also should be a sibling to H1, which means it must share the same parent. In this case, it is body. Right? How are we going to do this? Let me show you. I'll just go inside style and I will tell H1 is my first selector, P is my second selector. I will leave a space between both, and now the relationship should be, it should be a sibling, but an immediate sibling or an adjacent sibling, which means plus. And there I will go and I will tell background color should be orange. Now, if in case I refresh, only this P gets selected. Because is it a sibling? Yes. Is it an immediate sibling? Yes. Is it an adjacent sibling? 100% yes. Same I can demonstrate even for the P tags below H2. So see, below H2, two P tags are there. But I want only the adjacent sibling, which is the first P tag. How will you do that? By now I'm sure you know it. I'll just go there and I will tell, hey, select H2, space, select P also, but the relationship must be that only select such P's which is an adjacent sibling of H2. So I'll put a plus like this, and there I will tell background color is cyan like this. The moment I do this, and if in case I go and refresh, only one of these P tags gets selected, which is an adjacent sibling. So I hope sibling, general sibling, adjacent sibling. The tilde combinator, the plus combinator is crystal clear to all of you. Now to give you even more idea about how and all you can be using this, I would like to do another example. Stay tuned. Alright my friend, this is the HTML page which has to be styled, right? If you can style this page the way I expect you to style it, then really your understanding of selectors is very, very strong up until this point. Look at this web page. I have a header list available on the web page. There I've told popular languages, popular frameworks, and highest paying jobs. It's ordered, 1, 2, 3 is there. Then I have another header where I've told popular languages and an unordered list with popular languages, followed by popular frameworks, another header, followed by another unordered list, followed by highest paying jobs, followed by another unordered list. Any confusion till this point of time? Now I want to style it. So let me take you to the HTML code associated with this. So watch it all of you. If I take you there, this is the HTML code, right? Also if you notice, there is another file here which is my external style sheet or my CSS file. I have linked these two guys. As you can see, there is the link tag ready. Now if in case I convert this particular HTML document into a tree, this is how the tree would look like. Intentionally, I have started from the body and not from HTML because this part is irrelevant for us for styling. So I'm starting from body. So inside the body, there is an H1 tag. So I've shown H1, followed by there is an ordered list. So I've shown OL. It also belongs to a class called as first list. So I've also shown that. Followed by the list items inside it. So inside that I've shown li. Followed by another h3 tag. So I've shown that h3 as well. Followed by an unordered list. I've shown that also. Inside that there are a few list items. I've shown that. And if you look at it, the first li has a class which it belongs to, which is first. So I've shown that as well. And the same thing repeats for the other lists as well. I hope this tree is crystal clear to all of you. Now on this side, I have few expectations for styling. And look at the first expectation. It is telling color the ordered list. He is not telling which color. He is just telling color the ordered list. Now which is my ordered list? This is my ordered list, right? This is my ordered list. Now this ordered list has to be colored. Colored with whichever color I want, but how will I select this ordered list? Now this is very straightforward. There is only one ordered list in my entire HTML document. So why don't I directly style it? So I will just go there and I will comment this line because I do not want this line to work. I will just comment it, and there I will come inside there and I will just tell which selector will you use? Element selector. Which is the element? Ordered list, OL. And inside that declaration, I will tell background color, maybe I will tell orange. Wonderful. Now will this work is the bigger question. For that I will have to take you to my output window as well. So let me show you the output right here so that it is visible to you. This is the list which must get styled, and if I refresh it, clearly you can see background color is orange. So this was a very straightforward selector. Wonderful. Now which is the next selector, you must be wondering. Now the next selector is this, which is it is telling, I will just uncomment this so that you can I'll comment the first one, yeah, comment that. I will uncomment this so that you can read what is written. So what am I saying? Color all the unordered list, which means there are 3 unordered lists, UL, UL, UL. All these 3 unordered list has to be colored. Any confusion till here? Now how will you select it? Very simple. You want all the 3 unordered lists to be selected, which means you use an element selector itself. So I'll just go comment that, and I'm going to below that write the selector. So I will tell UL, which is the element of unordered list. There I will tell background color orange, like this. If I do this, and if in case I take you to my output window, then watch it all of you. Here, if I refresh, now what gets selected is all the 3 unordered lists. Very straightforward, very simple. Let's take things up a notch, right? So if I take you back and I display the tree to you guys, this is the tree. Now I will go here, I will comment this expectation is also done. Now the next expectation is, let me uncomment it so that you guys can read it. Color all li except first li. Li means what? Whatever list elements are there inside. That is what I have to style, right? Which means first li of this list, first li of this list, first li of this list, that all first li I want to select. Or let me make this question a little more straightforward. I will change it to color all li except first li inside ul I will tell, which means I am telling it is inside the unordered list. So I will just press enter, indent it correctly. Inside ul. After I, just press enter before I. Inside ul I have told. Any confusion till this point of time? Now think about it. I am not caring about my ordered list. I am only and only speaking about my unordered list. Now how many unordered lists are there? First unordered list, second unordered list, third unordered list. In that first unordered list, except for first li, I should be styling all other li's. Which means except for Java or except for C, everything should get styled. If I scroll down in the popular frameworks, except for Spring, everything else should get styled. Except for DevOps engineer, everything else should get styled. Any confusion till this point of time? How are we going to do this? Very simple. Let me go comment this so that it doesn't come in our way. I'll just go comment that. Now, this is where you have to think a little bit. Everything except, which means I must somehow establish a relationship such that other than the first li, from here everything should get selected. Now look at it, the first li and all the li's after them. What is the relationship between them? The relationship between them is all these li's are siblings of this guy. Would you agree with me? Yes, because all of them share the same parent, which is ul. Okay. So first, if I can somehow select my first li and then tell CSS to select all of its siblings, all of the siblings which come under it, I would have satisfied my expectation. So how am I going to do this? Now, come to the HTML code. If you look at it carefully, every li inside my unordered lists have a class associated with them. What is the class? It is telling first, which means to select my first li, I can use the class. Would you agree with me? How will you do that, you might ask? Class selector is there. So I will just go there and I will first select my first li by using the class by telling dot first, like this. That's how you write the class selector, dot first. The moment I tell dot first, all first li's will get selected. Watch it. If I put a declaration and if in case I just tell background color orange, and if in case I have to take you to the execution window and show you how this looks like, if I refresh it, all of my first li's got selected. But except for this, everything else should get selected, which means all I have to now tell is, hey, select all the siblings of my first li. That is what I should be telling. So all the siblings I should select. How will you select the siblings? And who are the siblings of li? Other li elements. So what I will do is, after dot first, I will leave a space and I will tell li. Now, between this dot first and li, I should establish a relationship, which is I should tell they should be siblings. And what type of siblings? General siblings or adjacent siblings? All means general, and general means tilde. Any confusion till this point of time? So see, read this. Select an element with the class dot first, and in this HTML, all dot first classes are first li's. Select that and then find all its general siblings which are li. Find all its general siblings which are li and style it. Style it as what? Background color orange. Will this work? Let's see. If in case I go back and if in case I just refresh it, clearly you can notice all the li's in ul except the first li has got styled. What was my expectation? It worked. Do you see the kind of control advanced selectors offer you? Let's take things up a notch again. Now the next expectation is, look at this, let me go comment this. If I comment this and uncomment the next one, what is it saying? Color only the second li. Color only the second li. How am I going to do that? Which means, see, this is my, again, color only the second li in what? Ordered list or unordered list? Let us make it crystal clear. I will tell in ul. So I'll just tell in ul. So that we know it is unordered list. Any confusion till here? Now, this is the ul, this is the second li. This is the ul, this is the second li. This is the ul, this is the second li. Now, how will I pick only those? Very simple. You know from the last example how to pick the first li from everyone. How to pick the first li. And how will you pick the first li? By using the class. That is how you picked the first li. So watch it, I will go there and I will below that just tell dot first, like this. If I tell dot first, I would have automatically picked my first li. Now, the second li is right below the first li, correct? Second li is right below the first li. And what is the relationship between the first li and the second li? If you notice, the relationship between these two guys is they are siblings because they share the same parent, which is ul. But after the first li, I don't want to select all my siblings. I want to select my immediate sibling. And immediate sibling is also called as adjacent sibling. Would you agree with me? Which means I will leave a space there and I will tell li. Now, what should be the relationship? Adjacent sibling. Which combinator will you make use of? Plus. Any confusion? Inside that I will go and I will tell background color orange. That's it. Will this work if you ask me? Let me execute and show it for you, but I'll just comment that as well. Now, understand this all of you and understand it correctly. If in case I take you to my output window and if I refresh it, clearly you can see only second LIs got selected, because how did this work? It went dot first, picked all the class or LIs which belong to class dot first. Then you told plus, so it knows, oh, I have to find an adjacent sibling. Which should be the adjacent sibling? Another LI element. Is there a LI element soon after this? Yes, that gets selected. Like that it works for all ULs. Any confusion till this point of time? Next what you might ask. Next what means I'll go and comment this as well. I'll just go comment that. Yeah, now I'll uncomment the next one. Color all LI after the second LI. After that LI, press enter and I will tell in UL. In UL. Press enter before I in UL I will tell. So that it is clear to us that we have to color all LI after the second LI in my unordered list. Which means what is he saying? This is my unordered list. This is my second LI. All LIs after second LI should be colored. All LIs after second LI should be colored. All LIs after second LI should be colored, which means in my first unordered list, first one is C, second one is Java. Python, C++, C#, JavaScript should be styled. Here, you should not style Spring and Django. Node, .NET, your Flask and React.js should be styled. In the last one, DevOps engineer and full stack developer should not be styled. Everything below that should be styled. How am I going to do this? Very simple. If you think you will get it. In fact, pause the video and try it for yourself. Assuming you have tried, I know you are very honest people. Assuming you have tried, I am going to proceed. So I'll just go comment this. Now look at my understanding, sir. So all LIs except for first and second, or after second everything should be styled, right? Now very simple. You know how to select the second LI. You know that. How did we select the second LI? First we identified the first LI using the first LI's class. The second LI is the adjacent sibling of the first LI, so we used plus, we selected the second LI. You stopped there, but now you continue and tell, hey listen, I have come till the second LI, now everything below that you style. Now look at this is the second LI. This is the third, fourth, fifth LI, right? What is the relationship between the LIs below the second LI and the second LI? They are nothing but siblings because they belong to the same parent. Now you want all the siblings below the second LI, which means are you saying adjacent or are you saying general? What you're saying is general, which means watch it. I'm going to go back into my CSS. First I should select my second LI, but I can't directly select my second LI. So first select the first LI because it belongs to a class, so I'll tell dot first. The moment I tell dot first, it will reach the first LI. Now I want the second LI. What is the relationship between first and second LI? The relationship between the first and second LI is the fact that they are adjacent siblings. So I will leave a space, I will tell LI, and then in between I will apply a plus. The moment you do this, what you have selected is the second LI. Now you have reached the second LI. Don't stop there. From there, say, from the second LI, select all of its general siblings. How? I will leave a space and I will tell LI. Now, do you want only one LI or all LIs? All. All LIs which are siblings, which means which combinator will you use? Tilde. Like this. I'll go inside that and I'll tell background color is orange. Any confusion till this point of time? Will this work? Let me show you. If in case I take you here and if in case I refresh, wow. All the LIs in my unordered list except for first and second have got selected. That is the beauty of advanced selectors. Dot first will select first LI. Plus LI will select its adjacent sibling, which is second LI. Tilde LI will select all the general siblings of the second LI. Any confusion till this point of time? It works. Practice is important here. You should be creative. What is stopping you from creating a web page? And you only imagine, I want to style it like this, I want to style it like this, and start writing selectors. That is how you learn. Any confusion? Wonderful. I'll go comment that as well. Once I comment this, the next question, let us read that. Alright, so if I just uncomment this, it is telling color only the first UL, which means out of my 3 unordered lists, he wants me to style only the first unordered list. How are we going to write things for this? Well, it's very simple. If you visualize it from the tree point of view, 3 unordered lists are there. He wants me to style only the first unordered list, which is nothing but this. This is my first unordered list. How are we going to do that? Well, think about it. You have to reach UL, this UL. If I simply tell select UL, all ULs will get selected. Then how do I reach this UL? Well, for that, you have to now not only use one selector, but you will have to use multiple selectors and establish relationships between them. So, very simple. If you look at it carefully, right? If I try to identify this UL using its sibling, which is H3, will it be unique is the question. It will not, because this UL has a sibling H3, this UL also has a sibling H3, this UL also has a sibling H3. Which means if I should tell CSS that CSS you should select a UL which is the sibling of this H3 particularly, then you must understand what is unique about this H3 which is not there in these 3 H3s. What is unique if you ask me? Look at this H3. This H3's immediate sibling is whom? The ordered list. None of these H3s are immediate siblings of the ordered list. Or one more way of saying it is, this H3 is the adjacent sibling of OL. Would you agree? First, let us select only this H3. Because if I reach this H3, reaching UL is very, very simple. So how are we going to select this H3 if you ask me? Simple. I will go to my CSS. I will comment this line. Below that, I will tell, hey, listen, I want to find such H3s or such H3. So I will tell H3, right? To its left side, I'll go to the left side, leave a space, and there I will tell OL like this. H3 and OL, right? What should be the relationship between H3 and OL? They must be siblings. Not just any siblings, they must be adjacent siblings. Because see, both this OL and H3 are siblings because they share the same parent, which is body. And they should be one below the other. They should be adjacent. How am I going to do that? Which is the combinator which will tell you adjacent plus. Any confusion till here? If I do this, then it will find OL. Yes. Then it will see plus. So it knows it has to find an adjacent sibling. Which should be that adjacent sibling? H3. Is there H3? Yes, you will select this. To prove that it is selected, I will just put a property value which is background color orange. Now let me see if really only that first H3 gets styled. If I go there and I refresh it, you can notice we have reached here. If we have reached here, coming one step below is easy. Would you agree with me? Because what was the expectation? Expectation was to color only the first unordered list. And the first unordered list comes under the first H3. The first H3 comes under the first ordered list or the only ordered list. Any confusion till this point in time? So what I'm going to do is, I will not stop here. If I take you back to my tree, please understand, I'm not going to stop here. This is my tree and here I've reached till H3. Now, what is the relationship between H3 and the first UL? They are also siblings. They belong to the same parent, which is body. But is it a general sibling or adjacent sibling? Adjacent. Which means I will not stop here. I will go leave a space and I will tell, hey, after this select UL unordered list. But what should be the relationship between H3 and the unordered list? Adjacent sibling. Which means what? Plus. Any confusion till here? Will this work if you ask me? 100% it should work. If in case I go and if in case I refresh, first unordered list has been selected. Is it easy? Is it difficult? It is totally up to you. Because how much you focus, how much you practice, how much you experiment will decide upon whether it is easy or difficult. I hope you're able to think. If Some 10 classes before I told you, you will have to style it like this, you would have not believed me. But now you've got the control, you have got the options with you. It is just about matching them in the right way. Next, what you might ask, let me comment this CSS as well. I'll just go and comment it. And after commenting it, what I'm going to do is I'll uncomment the last statement. Now the last statement says color only the first two LIs in every UL, which means C Java, Spring Django, and DevOps engineer, full stack developer. First two LIs of every UL must be styled. How are we going to do this? First two LIs, first two LIs, first two LIs. Now, you know how to select the first LI. You know how to select the second LI. You know that. I'm just asking you to combine both. What I mean to say is, I'll go there, let it be like that itself, we will comment it later. Below that I will tell, see first how to select the first LI. First LI is very straightforward, class is there. So I will tell dot first. The moment I tell dot first, who you are finding is the first LI of every unordered list. Any confusion till here? We found the first LI. Now to this I will go, I will put a bracket. And after that I am going to tell background color orange. Now if I do this much, will it work is the question. So watch it. If in case I take you back there and if in case I refresh it, clearly you can notice you have not selected it. If I just save it, maybe it was not saved. Yeah, just check this out now. Yeah, comment that. That was not commented. Okay, great. If I go there and if in case I just do it, first LI is selected. You know how to select the second LI. How do you select the second LI? Go back to the code. Inside that, below that, I'm going to create one more selector. I'm going to create one more selector where I will tell dot first. Dot first will give me my first LI. The second LI is always below the first LI. The second LI is the sibling of the first LI. The second LI is the adjacent sibling of the first LI. How to say adjacent sibling? Leave a space, tell LI, and in between both apply plus. Again in the brackets I will tell background color orange. Right? If I do this and if in case I go and if in case I refresh, first two things have got selected. But if you are smart and you are revising, you know there is something called as grouping possible in CSS. After all, this property is also same, this property is also same. Why do repeat it two times? Instead, see, I will cut this selector dot first plus LI. I will cut that. And I will delete that declaration and that property value pair. I will go after dot first, and how do you do group? Using comma. I will separate it with comma, place that selector also. So for this selector and this selector, the common thing is applied. Any confusion till this point of time? Will it work if you ask me? Let me change the color there. I will change it to red so that it is visible to you that really change has happened. I will make that as red. Select it properly. Red I will tell. If in case I do this and if I go back and if in case I just refresh it, clearly you can notice that it happens. So all kinds of selectors you have used. You have used basic selectors, you have used advanced selectors, you have used child selectors, you have used sibling selectors, everything you have made use of. How amazing is this? I hope selectors have given you crystal clear clarity. But even now we have not finished advanced selectors. There is something more for us to learn which is called as attribute selectors. How and where to use them? Stay tuned to know more.